I'm from Sulphur Springs, Texas, which is a really small town in East Texas, and there's not really enough people who leave Sulphur Springs to do more stuff. And I got introduced to soccer when my dad would make me go watch him play, and I just picked it up from the get-go. So around 3 or 4, I started playing soccer. This guy saw me play when I was 9, 10, and was like, hey, have you thought about playing club soccer? And I was like, what's club soccer, you know? And from there, he got me a tryout in Dallas, Texas, where I tried out for Sting Soccer Club, didn't make it. And so then I tried out for Defeaters and made it. And from there, I just grew as a soccer player. Actually, when I was a sophomore, I verbally kind of committed to A&M. And the end of my sophomore year, beginning of junior year, which is like the most important year of recruiting, my ACL tore in the summer of going into my junior year, and A&M kind of cut me off and said they didn't want me going there anymore. My whole junior year I was just trying to recover from my ACL, and my parents split up because just the money issues, and they weren't happy, and there was like a lot of abuse, verbally and physically, and alcohol was involved and drugs were involved, so they weren't happy my whole life. So my senior year, my dad moved to Arizona, and I was kind of forced to move because my mom didn't have the money to have me and my brother or sister living with her. And I hated it here at first, like I really hated it. And 2 weeks later, I was committed to Arizona State. When they gave me the scholarship, I was crying, and I called up my whole family before I said yes, and I was like, hey, like I got a scholarship, finally a full ride. I was blessed enough that God gave me that gift to go to school. And for me, it's not just playing soccer, it's me getting an education and me being the first in my family, the first to graduate from a university. Honestly, it's one of the best feelings ever. My brother and sister couldn't, but I'm happy that I will be getting a degree in communication, and I'm obviously going to be helping them. My dad taught me all I know. He literally coached us since we were 3 or 4. He was always outside playing with us and telling us what to do and how to be better. And I think my mom's my #1 motivator because I'm always thinking of her. And so when there was so much violence, I always knew I wanted to be somebody or do something in my life in order to help her get out of that situation. Growing up, seeing the things I saw, I would always cry, and then me and my brothers would go outside and go play soccer. Like it was weird, like we'd be bawling of how much abuse we saw. But we'd always find an outlet. My mom would always tell us, go play soccer, go kick the ball around. And it was like the middle of the night. And so I know playing soccer brought us as a family. Because when we played soccer and we played great soccer, we were a family, we were happy. Honestly, if it wasn't for it, I wouldn't be here. In my town, it's if you don't leave the town, you become pregnant, or you get married, or you just stay there, working there. And so soccer was my outlet, and it was like my savior. Hopefully, if I don't go pro, find a really good career and find a job, and if I can, get my master's in communications, and I wouldn't change my life any other way. Like, yeah, I grew up in a bad situation, but I mean, it made me stronger and it made me a better person and player too.